And I guess I want to share something that's kind of been working for me because I've tried so many different ways. I used to think just running was meditating because I'm moving my body, I'm clearing my mind. That's my meditation, you know? And maybe that is a form of meditation. But just to really be more, instead of being like passively meditating, like just letting go of thought and thinking of nothing, I started like declaring and sitting with myself to be present, but then also declaring and saying out loud what it is that I want to manifest, and saying it like it's in the present, like I already have it, and feeling it, and then making all my senses, like what does it feel like, what do I see, where am I standing, what do I smell, and putting it into all my senses. And if I've read that when you first wake up in the morning, we're still in kind of like this alpha state where we're not like completely fully awake. We're a little bit groggy. You know, a lot of people, we create a pattern to go to the coffee machine, right, and make some coffee to kind of wake up or whatever. But I've heard that that's like an ideal time to kind of like reprogram ourselves a little bit, to kind of like give ourselves some good feedback. So instead of picking up the phone and seeing who texted you first thing in the morning or who's doing something like that, what if we woke up and we said the first 15 minutes I wake up, I mean, if you have to go to the bathroom, yes, go to the bathroom really quick, and then sit quietly somewhere and just get really quiet, focus on your breath for a minute, and then just start putting in these thoughts, like this money thing right now. Like just imagine money coming to you easily and effortlessly whenever whenever you're raising money, whenever you have a deal. Imagine, did you decide on how many units you were going to have or whatever, or who did you want to partner with to do your next deal? Or what is it that you want, and what does it feel like to have it already? And be in gratitude because you know that you're in the right place and you're already doing it. And just imagine yourself being the producer, the writer of your own movie, and you are the star of your movie, right? And so you could put a timer on your phone for 15 minutes, so whatever, so because you're still in this alpha state. You might go back to sleep when you're dreaming about all this stuff, because it is kind of like a meditative state that is very calming. But what's cool about it is you're doing that first thing in the morning, you're setting the tone for the day, and you're focusing on feeling and seeing everything that you want to bring into life. And you are that powerful. We are all that powerful. When we take the time to just stop and just really focus and believe in ourselves, our Creator, and how imagination is so powerful. And it all starts there, right? It starts with a dream, a vision, and then we have all these senses. Why? So if we can really bring it into our senses, it's so powerful. So I would love to hear who would love to try that. 15 minutes a day, new habit, and just put in, create whatever. Just say in your mind, yes, I am a powerful creator. Money comes through me. And put in powerful programs and repeat it, because repetition, they say repetition is mother of skill. Well, if you keep repeating something long enough, you're going to believe it. And that might be hard to believe in the beginning, but you keep saying it over and over and over, and your body's going to be like, oh yeah, I own this. It's building confidence, and it's creating a new you. So I am excited for you guys to try it, whoever is committed to that. Say yes. I love to see the hearts, the thumbs up. Yes, yes, yes. That's great. Okay, so I'm going to be bringing on Brad here very soon. Annette, great. I love it. Yes, Nancy, awesome. Awesome. And Rebecca, I'm so excited. I can't wait to hear about it too. I dare my friends all the time. I dare you to do this. And then, I'm looking forward to our conversation about, your story about how it worked later on. So I'm already setting it up, right? The future pacing, right? It's very cool. Believe in yourself. That's the first step, really. All right, so with that, I want to ask everybody it's time to get in your body and bring some energy up. We've got Brad queued up here, ready to come on. Are you guys ready for Brad? How about some money? How about some money song for the money day? You guys ready to learn how to save money and keep more money and have money flowing to you in the manifesting way? If yes, let's get up and let's just dream about and think about and be in all gratitude of how awesome this is, how money comes to you, and how you've learned all of these awesome things from Tom today and from Brad. And let's just get up and get ready for Brad. So who's ready for Brad? Let's put it in your body. For all you guys at Facebook, let's blow it up. I see all the hearts and the smiles. I love it. And for all you guys, Jimmy, thank you for standing up. Yes, Ruth's got the pom-poms out today. You guys ready to bring Brad out? I don't know. Where's that music, guys? Let's get some fun money music. You guys ready for some money? Let's hear it. Money, money, money. I love it, Ruth. Money flows to me in avalanches of abundance. Yes. I love it. David Norton, yes. And Rick, it's probably Garcia, but it says Garth, ... yes. Awesome, Annette. Awesome, Sean. What's happening, y'all? What's happening is we got money. Money coming in, flowing to us. Who's got the money? Who's got the money? Money, money. Who's ready for Brad? Linda, you ready for Brad? Linda H. Oh, yeah, she's ready. And Rick Garcia is ready. We got Jimmy Hodges who's ready. Okay, are you guys ready? Money, money, money. 1, 2, 3. Help me welcome Brad Silbrook, y'all. Woo! Money,
it's money day. It is day 3. Woo, woo. It is money day.
Oh, yeah.
Which one is your favorite? Which one? Who likes to 10x their money is number 1. Who wants to 10x their money? Blow up the screen.
Yes,
money day, baby. 10X, money day. Who wants 10X. To 10x their money? Who wants cash flow to meet or exceed their living expenses? Let's blow it up.
Yes.
Let's blow it up, Mike. Let's blow it up, Rick Garcia. Come on, brother. Let's go. Let's blow it up.
Yeah, Rebecca Armstrong.
Come on, Jimmy Hodges. I see you. Let's blow it up. Cash flow. Baby, you're going to have a financial freedom number by the end of today.
Guillermo, turn the lights on.
We are going to have net worth targets by the end of today. 10 times in your money. Oh, and who wants to pay 0 tax? Who wants 0 tax? Come on, guys. Blow it up, Linda.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Linda. 0 tax for you. Yeah, baby, let's go.
Guillermo, you made it darker.
Let's go, Rebecca Armstrong. Let's blow this up.
Here you go, Cody. No taxes. Woo,
yeah,
woo, woo.
So I found out what happened with Facebook and why it was late coming on is because we were playing money, money, money. And we ain't allowed to do that. We're not, you got to play royalty-free music, and we knew that, but we were accidentally playing money, 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 and so they don't let us do that.
They cut us off. Dang.
So for the first 6 minutes, we were like, oh my God, we're not live on Facebook yet, but we are live now. So let's blow it up. I want to see 0 tax in the chat. I want to see 0 tax in the Facebook group.
Yeah.
I want to see 10 times your money.
There it is.
10 times your money. And we talked about this yesterday, by the way.
All right, Mike.
We talked about the fastest way to be a millionaire apartment investor is to be a general partner or a co-general partner. Okay, and that's how you're going to 10 times your money. And I showed you the examples. And today, we're really going to talk about cash flow too. You see, I was able to quit my job in 2005, not because I 10 times my money. You see, sometimes when you 10 times your money, it's your net worth on your balance sheet in the property, but you can't live off of net worth. Okay, you can't go to the bank and say, hey, my net worth went up because my property's worth more money, so let me buy this car, or let me buy this groceries, or let me buy this suit, or let me buy these shoes. You need cash flow. We need the cash flow to meet or exceed our living expenses. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about all 3. So we're going to talk about how apartments make us money, and we're going to talk about how apartments save us money. So let's go. I'm ready to go, and you are too. So let me bring you to the framework to become a millionaire apartment investor. And we covered this on day 1, okay? And so far, if you look at the check marks, you can see what we've already covered. Now, I'm still going to talk more about some of these topics. We're always working on our mindset. And I talked about mindset on day 1. I talked about the exponential mindset, exponential thinking and actions versus incremental. And I talked about the mindset of being a business owner and an investor that I learned from Robert Kiyosaki. Okay, on day one, we also talked about mechanics. We had my friend and business partner in management, Dave Marcinkowski, and he really went into some advanced property management topics and technology, okay, and how we've created the management offering that is different than any other fee-based management company out there, okay? So here's the deal. People were asking us, well, what markets is Rockwood available in? Right now it's available in Houston and Dallas, but here's the thing, by tuning into the Sunrock events, you're still going to learn from me, and especially property management from Dave, by coming to our future events, okay? Because Dave is going to be and has been one of our speakers at a lot of our events. So even if you're not able to use Rockwood because we're not in the market, you're going to be able to learn the mechanics of management from one of the best in the business, Dave Marcinkowski. Okay, yesterday, by the way, how was Russell Gray? How many people enjoyed Russell Gray's presentation where he started teaching about building your brand, building your network, and how to be, look, if you're going to be a general partner, if you're going to be a co-general partner, if you're new and you want to add value to an experienced general partner, or you want to get into a deal, you don't come and say, hey, what's in it for me? You want to be able to make an offer to an experienced general partner, and here's how you're going to add value. I can help you find the deals in a market that you're not looking at. Or I'm really good at numbers. I can help you analyze all the deals. Or I'm really good at raising capital. And so raising capital, we need to be masters of raising capital. We need to be masters of getting our message out so that people know us and we communicate clearly and effectively so that people want to do business with you, so that people want to trust you with their money so you can go out and help them make a good return as a passive investor. So we talked about marketing yesterday, okay? And we're going to talk a little bit more about marketing during the challenge, okay? Today is all about the money, money, money. We're going to talk about cash flow. We're going to talk about capital gains. And we're going to talk about tax savings. And so some of you may have seen this slide before. These are the 3 rules for creating fast and permanent financial freedom. We want to have financial freedom quickly and permanently, okay? So number 1, we need cash flow. We need cash flow, okay? So in all the examples that I do in the training is we're showing 10% cash returns on a typical multifamily deal. Now some are going to be a little higher, some are going to be a little lower, okay? And that ebbs and flows up and down depending on the market and if it's a buyer's market or a seller's market, okay? Right now, cash returns are a little lower than 10% because the market's hot. But we're also seeing a lot of this part number 2, the upside potential right now is going through the roof, okay? Because the market's hot, I shared with you on day 1 how my and Jennifer's net worth has skyrocketed, okay? So the people that are getting into the deals, rents are going up, okay? When the rents go up and occupancy go up, we make more money on the upside. And I'm going to show you how that works, okay? And then finally, my good friend Tom, and he is a good friend, he's going to come in and talk about how and why apartments right now are one of the best ways to save you money on taxes, okay? And we may have talked about this before, ESBI. This is the Robert Kiyosaki cash flow quadrant. E stands for employee, and they pay about 40% of their income to the federal government. S stands for self-employed, and self-employed pay even higher taxes, up to 55 or 60%. Business owners typically only pay 20%, and investors, especially right now with the bonus depreciation that me and then Tom are going to walk you through today, we could pay 0. So by following these 3 rules, if I just give you my own example, and now look, please don't be intimidated by this, I'm not bragging, but I've been doing this for 19 years. Our cash flow is well over $1 million a year from the properties we own. And we're going to add another 500 to 700 this year by investing a lot more money. our net worth has gone from 500K in the year 2000. In the year 2000, it was 500K, and it's over 45 million today. So in 21 years, our net worth has went from 500K to $45 million. And that's what's available to you. And 2021 will be the 4th year in a row that we pay zero tax. Okay, so here's the deal. When I talk about this framework, as I mentioned in day one, there's not many people that can teach this. Now, sure, people could get up and they can talk about it, but if they ain't doing it, they shouldn't be teaching it. So I am one of the few people that is uniquely qualified to teach this framework because I am doing it, and I got hundreds of students that are doing it too. So if I can do it and they can do it, then you can do it. So let's dive right into the multifamily business model. Multifamily is valued by the income. And so we could see the formula for valuing an apartment building is just pretty simple. You need to know the NOI and the cap rate, and that gives you the value. So the NOI has two components. There's the operating income component, and then there's the operating expense component. And so by increasing the income, decreasing and optimizing the expenses, we're able to raise the NOI. Okay, I like that because if I could raise the rent by doing better management, if I could raise the occupancy by better management or capital improvements, if I could raise the non-rental income by implementing 101 different things like covered parking, reserve parking, billing back utilities to the residents, late fees, application fees, pet fees, et cetera, I could drive up the income. And then if I can negotiate better terms with my vendors, my utility providers, my painters, my flooring installers, my contractors, I could negotiate those better prices and I could reduce my expenses. Now, a lot of people ask me, by the way, Brad, if this is so easy, how come the current ownership group hasn't done it? Well, here's the answer. A lot of times they do it in the beginning, but they take their eye off the ball, okay? And so a lot of times they're on their second, third, fifth, 10th, 20th, 30th deal, and they just take their eye off the ball a little bit. So when we come in as a new ownership group, you better believe we have our eye on the ball. And so just by having your eye on the ball and paying attention to the numbers, I'm going to show you right now on this slide or the next how 5 and 10% differences can make you millions of dollars. 5 and 10% differences can make you millions of dollars. So check this out. Yesterday, when we talked about being a GP as being the fastest way to become a millionaire apartment investor, we used an example of a 100-unit deal that we could buy for $10 million. Do y'all remember that? Type in, yes, Brad, I remember the example from yesterday. Do y'all remember? Come on, let me know. Okay, guys, you got it. So we're going to keep building on that example. And so we're just going to add one more component. We're going to say it's 100 units. The rents are $1,000 a month, okay? And I'm going to show you how we value this property at $10 million, by the way. So the operating income annually would be $1.2 million. And here we're just assuming rental income, no non-rental income. And how do I get that? 100 units times $1,000 a month times 12 months. That gives us $1.2 million a year. That's our annual operating income. Now, our expenses, we're just going to assume in this case are $700,000. Okay? And I don't have the formula for that right now. But the expenses include everything related to running the property. It includes the salaries of the staff, the property management fees, the advertising, the marketing, the repairs, the maintenance, the taxes, the insurance, everything related to running the property is in the expenses. So if we have the operating income of $1.2 million and the expenses are $700,000, what is the NOI? And the formula is NOI equals income minus expenses. So blow up the screen, guys. Tell me the answer. What's the NOI? Let's go. Come on, guys, give me the answer. Let's go. That's right, it's $500,000. So that's 500. Now what we do is divide by the cap rate, and I can tell you that the average cap rate in the United States right now for multifamily is right around 5%. So we're going to use the average number, okay? And so we would divide 500,000 by 5% or 0.05, and that would give us the $10 million property value. So what I just did is I deconstructed the example we used yesterday. Remember yesterday I said we're going to buy a 100-unit deal for $10 million, and we're going to put $3 million down and get a loan for $7 million. And then I showed you the LP returns. I showed you the GP returns. Y'all remember that? Come on, guys. Y'all remember that? Yeah. So we're just going to keep building on this example. All right? Now check this out. I'm looking at this deal now, and I'm analyzing the deal. And through my analysis, me and my team determined that we could raise the rents and or raise the occupancy. And as a direct result of raising the rents and raising the occupancy, on an annual basis, we could raise the income by about 10%. So we determined that through our analysis. And then we also look at all the seller's expenses, line item by line item, repairs, maintenance, taxes, insurance, utilities, management, payroll. And we determined that we could lower the expenses by just 5%. So see, I'm not talking about big changes. I'm talking about 10% increase of income. I'm talking about 5% decrease of expenses. Now, what is the new NOI if I come in and I'm able to do this? Sean, what is it? Let's say you and Terry are looking at the deal. Sean Griffith, I'm talking to you, buddy. What is the new NOI, Sean? We take 1.32 minus 665, and everybody says, yeah, Sean, it's higher, but what is it? It's 655,000, okay? So we have just raised the NOI. Well, first of all, what that does for us is we get 155,000 more in cash flow. But what it really does for us is if we take that new NOI and divide it by the same cap rate of 5%, look what the value is now, okay? So when we go to buy deals, this is the exact analysis that I do. This is the exact analysis that I teach you to do. So we look at the actual numbers, which is a 500,000 NOI, and we looked at our projected numbers. We don't look at the broker's projected numbers. We look at our projected numbers. So in the Sunrock program, this is what me and my team do in our various mentoring programs, is we help you come up with these numbers, okay? So we could see here that if we buy this deal for $10 million and we implement our business plan, it'll be worth $13.1. Does everybody see that? Say, yes, Brad, I am excited about making $3 million. Let's go, people. Seriously, this is exciting. This is money day, okay? So check this out, how we've doubled our money. We remember from yesterday, we paid $10 million for this deal. 30% down is $3 million. Well, you put $3 million down, you have a $7 million loan, but now when you come in and buy the deal and you implement your business plan, the new value is now $13.1 million, and you have increased your equity by $3.1 million. Right there, you have 2x'd your down payment. You have 2x'd it, okay? And here's the deal. If you're the GP, and remember I said if you're the GP and you put $50,000 in and you raise 2.95 from other people because now you're a master marketer and you know how to raise the money. So you put $50K in of your own money, but when you sell this deal as a GP and you have an 80-20 split you're getting 20% of that $3 million profit. Are you picking up what I'm putting down, everybody? So the GP split of that $3 million gain is $600,000. Does this excite you or what? This excites the crap out of me. This is why I've already done 2 deals this year as a GP, and I'm going to do at least 2 more. And this is how me and Jennifer's net worth has gone up, not incrementally, but exponentially, okay? Number 2 is the cash flow. Let's talk about cash flow. Same deal, we paid $10 million, 30% down is $300,000. Our acquisition NOI is $500K, but as soon as we go in and implement our business plan, it's no longer $500K, it's $655. Now, cash flow, we have to subtract our debt payment. So now we're taking our new NOI of $655 and we're subtracting out principal and interest. And I just picked an example of about a 3% rate amortized over 30 years, which is pretty accurate based on what's going on right now in the market. And so we'd take that NOI of $655 minus principal and interest, which is $355, and there's your $300,000 cash flow, which, by the way, is 10% of your down payment. Now, again, as a GP, if I'm producing $300,000 of cash flow, and there's a 20% split to the GP, guess what the GP is getting? $60,000. So, folks, I just want to share with you again, this is why you want to be a GP or a co-GP. So if you're a co-GP, you just split up the pie. You know, if there's 2 of you and you're each doing the equal amount of work and adding the same value in terms of, you know, capital raising and analysis and managing the asset, you just divvy everything up 50-50. Most of the deals I'm in as a GP, we just have a simple agreement and we just divide it up equally between the investors that are GPs. Sometimes it's not equal if one of them is doing substantially more than the others. Does that make sense, everybody? I get that question all the time. So this is the deal, okay? So hopefully this is reinforcing yesterday, you know, why it's so important to get in as a general partner. And I also outlined how you can add value to be a co-general partner and the different ways you can do that. So next thing is the tax savings. Tax savings is one of the biggest ways we make money. Now, I just want to share with you a story before I go into this, and you can go ahead and read the slide too, but in 2017 tax year, me and Jen, we paid $965,000 in tax. $965,000. And my goal at the time was to pay $1 million in taxes. That's right, I had been doing this at the time for 16 years, and I just felt like the more money I made, the more taxes I would pay, and I was okay with it. And that was when I met Tom Wheelwright. And Tom basically said, Brad, what if I could help you make more money and pay less taxes legally? So I hired Tom, and Tom charged me $50,000 just to review all my tax returns and help me come up with a strategy. Oh, and then he said, oh, if you want me to do your tax returns, that's extra. So get this, I was paying about $6,000 or $7,000 to my CPA to do my tax returns. And now I'm paying $50,000 to Tom, and he's not even doing my tax returns for $50K. So I'm paying him $50,000 plus about $30,000 to do all my returns. So I'm paying him $80,000. Thinking that's a lot of money to spend. Okay? But within 6 weeks, he saved me $160,000 in taxes. By the next tax year, my taxes went from $965,000 to zero. To zero. So let me ask you a question. Was that an expense Was that $50,000 an expense or was it an investment? What do y'all think? Type in expense or investment. That's right, Brandon. That's right, Guillermo. That's right, Sean. That's right, Sharon. It was an investment. See, sometimes an investment is something when you have a financial transaction that on the surface looks like a cost. If you're going to get a 5, 10, 15, 20 ROI, it's not a cost. It's an investment. So investing in Tom was one of the best things that I've done. And he continues to work with me and Jen. He's got about 40 or 50 clients, personal clients. And I happen to be one of them, along with Robert Kiyosaki and a few select other individuals. So let's talk about how taxes work before I bring Tom up. So the way we save money in tax with apartments is by depreciation. And so if you look at the slide, the government allows us to depreciate annually not the value allocated to land, but the value allocated to the building, to the improved, it's called the improved value. So if we buy a deal for $10 million, rule of thumb is about 90% is going to be improved value and 10% is going to be land. So with straight line depreciation, we get a loss on paper of $327,000 a year. And so when we're cash flowing at $300,000 and we're writing off $327,000, rule number one, you got to remember the cash flow from your deal should be tax-free due to depreciation. The cash flow from your deal should be tax-free due to your depreciation. Okay, and I just showed you that here. And so you have this net loss, which is going to carry forward to the rest of your tax return. Now, what you really need to do when you own an apartment is don't do the straight line depreciation. And what you do is you hire a company, most likely an engineering company, and they do something called a cost segregation study. And what that does is they take the building, that improved value, and they segregate it into different classes of 5-year property, 15-year property, and 27.5-year property. So for example, inside an apartment building, we have appliances, flooring, air conditioning units, fixtures, lighting, electrical. There's all kind of things inside an apartment building that have faster depreciation schedules than the building itself, which is 27.5 years. So that company comes in and identifies 5-year, 15-year, and 27-year property. And ultimately what it does, as a rule of thumb, is you get about double the depreciation loss. So now instead of having 327, we have about double, about 654. And so now we've doubled our net loss. The net loss didn't double. The net loss went from 27,000 to 354,000. Are you seeing that? And so again, this net loss could carry forward and offset other income. So it's going to offset passive income. But if you're a qualified real estate professional, it could offset earned income. And so many of us in the Sumrock program that are full-time real estate investors, or if you're married to a full-time real estate investor, we have a lot of people in our program where one person has a regular job or a self-employed. You know, maybe one of the spouses is a doctor or an attorney or a CPA, and then the other one is a full-time real estate investor. And so now this net loss is offsetting the income of the other spouse. Are you getting that, guys? So here's the deal. If you're not married and you're deciding your criteria, Ruth Hiller, for your next spouse, you got to make sure that one of the things on your list, Ruth, is that, well, look, you're the real estate professional, so you don't need to find a real estate professional. But if you're not a real estate professional and you love your job, you may want to make sure that your new criteria for dating is I'm only going to date qualified real estate professionals. I'm kidding, but I'm not actually. It's like, why not? Why wouldn't you outline that as your, I mean, look, we're not only helping people make millions of dollars, we're actually creating marriages at the Sunrock program, okay? So we're creating, we're doing real estate. Do you think that would be a new product that we should do, by the way, where we do a matchmaking service, where we take all the self-employed people here that can't write off the depreciation and all the qualified real estate professionals here and create a matchmaking service? What do you all think? Blow it up. Does that excite you? I'm totally kidding. All right, I'm kidding about that. So the next level, by the way, and this is how me and Jen pay zero in tax, is that when you do that cost segregation study between January of 2018 and going through December of 22, all of the 5-year property can be depreciated in year 1. I'll say that again. All of the 5 and 15-year property can be written off in year 1. So in this same example of this $10 million deal, instead of getting $327 for straight line, $654 for cost seg, we get a year 1 write-off of $3.15 million. So check this out. This deal cash flows at $300,000 a year. We have a loss in year 1 of 3.15. So I get 2.85 million net loss. I'm in a 40% tax bracket. That's worth about $1 million to me in tax savings. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? This is huge. So here's the deal. Every year, what me and Jen do and what my students do is we try to invest as much of our earned income back into real estate as possible. And so the more ownership you have, the more depreciation you get. Guillermo, are you picking that up? Guillermo, I just want to make sure you're understanding this. The more ownership you have, the more depreciation you get allocated to you. And so if you know, there's a lot of people here that are high income earners. There's a lot of you that are high income earners. I know because you all call me and email me and say, Brad, I make $500,000 a year, $600,000 a year, and I pay $200,000 or $300,000 in tax. Well, if you go ahead and invest, for every $100,000 a year, for every $100,000 you invest, you should get about an $80,000 tax deduction. Okay, for every $100,000 you invest, you should get an $80,000 tax deduction in year 1. So $80,000 at a 40% tax bracket is like a it's like $32,000 a year in a return. It's a savings of tax, but it's a bottom line return. Are you getting that? So this is a big deal. Okay. Now what depends is everybody's going to get their depreciation allocated to them, and whether you could offset earned income or passive income depends on your tax situation. So Kirk Spears, you typed in, what is a qualified real estate professional? It's somebody that works full-time in real estate related activities, okay? Or that materially participates in real estate related activities. So Google it, ask your CPA, but the deal is a lot of you will be able to offset income with your depreciation losses. Okay, so 4 years in a row, me and Jen have paid zero tax. And now we have a new goal. You see, instead of wanting to pay $1 million in tax, now we have a target to donate $1 million to charity. So me and Jen have gotten involved with wheelchair foundations, and we ship wheelchairs to third world countries. And we have been to Nicaragua, Guatemala, and most recently Ecuador. Help people into their new wheelchairs. And then we also got involved in building some schools in Ecuador. And there was a school that only had grades 1 through 8. And we actually donated money. And then we did this with a lot of our students in our program. And we matched dollar for dollar. And so we had one event, we raised like $37,000. And we matched it. And so we gave the Ecuador school a check for $74,000, and they were able to build grades 9, 10, 11, and 12 at that school. And it was a school out in the countryside where, you know, a lot of poor people live. So before that school, after 8th grade, people basically didn't have education. And so we were able to continue their education through grade 12 as a result of me coming up with a new passion of charity, okay? So I just wanted to share that with you, and here's the deal. I shared this with you on day 1. Exponential growth net worth requires exponential mindset. It requires exponential mastery. It requires exponential action, okay? It requires the whole 6-step framework to be a millionaire multifamily investor. Now, here's the other thing. Do not wait to buy real estate. The trick is we buy real estate and wait. I shared with you on day 1 how me and Jennifer's net worth went up $6 million since January 1st. If we were waiting for the crash, if we were waiting for the correction, we wouldn't have gained that, okay? So we are making money as we sleep, and we are becoming richer and richer every day financially, and so are hundreds of our clients that we refer to as students. Tony Robbins says we usually overestimate what we can do in a year. See, people were thinking, oh, in 1 year I'm going to turn this $50,000 into $1 million and get rich quick. Well, that's an example of overestimating what you could do in a year. But we also tend to grossly underestimate what we can do in 10. Okay? Grant Cardone says, never ever lower your target. You increase your actions. You don't lower your targets, you increase your actions. Okay? So here's an example. If you could merely 2 times your net worth every 5 years, and you start in 2020, which was last year, at $500K, in 20 years your net worth will be $8 million. $500,000 to $8 million in 20 years. Now, I actually think two timesing your net worth every 5 years is slow. If you invest in apartments as a GP, you're going to 5 to 10 times your net worth. Seriously, you will 5x your net worth every 5 years. I'm telling you, you will if you get into deals. Here's an example. If you just 2x, this was 2x your net worth every 5 years. This is 2.5x every 5 years. You go from 500 to nearly 20 million. So check that out. 2x every 5 years, you go from 500 to 8 million. 2.5x every 5 years, you go from 500 to 20 million. So imagine if you could 3x every 5 years, or 5x every 5 years. And this is what I did. So that's what I did between 2000 and 2005, I 4x. Between 5 and 10, I 2x'd, and that was in the middle of divorce, and I still 2x'd, even after I gave half of everything away. Between 2010 and 15, I 2.5x. Between 15 and 20, I 4x'd. Okay? So on average, I probably 3 to 3.5x my net worth every 5 years. Okay? So the question is, what are you going to do? What are you committed to do on your net worth? And by being a GP or a co-GP and getting into the game, Remember on day 1 or 2, I said there's 3 types of people. There's the person driving the bus, there's a person riding on the bus, and there's a person that missed the bus. And you got to ask yourself what kind of person you are right now. So if you want to get on the bus and 3x your net worth every 5 years, I'm ready to help you do that, okay? So I want you to come up with your homework assignment for tomorrow. You're going to set targets. We're going to set financial targets. Number 1, this is your homework. You post it on the page, or you do a video and you share it. Number 1, what is your financial freedom number? Your financial freedom number, by the way, is going to be the cash flow that you need so that you don't have to work again. My cash flow that I needed when I had a job was $10,000 a month. That was my initial financial freedom number. So my question is, what is your financial freedom number that you could walk away from your job or your business or your company so that you don't have to work again unless you want to? That is your financial freedom number, okay? Number 2, how fast are you going to increase your net worth? Okay, in 5 years, is your net worth going to be 3x from where it is today? 2x? Is it going to be 5x? Is it going to be 10x? Okay, let's go. And remember, most people overestimate what they could do in 1 year, and they underestimate what they could do in 10. So I want you to map out your exponential growth and say, look, right now my net worth is, say, $1 million. In 5 years, if you 3x it, it's $3 million. In 5 more years, if you 3x that, it's $15 million. Imagine going from 1 to 3 and 3 to 15 in 10 years, from 1 to 15 in 10 years. And all you got to do is 3x your net worth every 5 years. That is an exponential pivot for you, okay? And then number three is, what is your tax reduction or elimination target? I want you to write down how much tax you're paying now. And then remember, every $100,000 you invest, you could potentially get an $80,000 write-off. And then you figure out what tax bracket you're in, say 40%. So an $80,000 write-off will give you $32,000 of tax savings. Okay? So this is your homework. And I'd like for you to blow this up now. Who is committed to 0 tax in 3 years or less? Who is committed to 0 tax in 3 years or less? Blow it up, and I want to hear from you. All right. Who is committed to meeting their cash flow financial freedom number in 3 years or less? It took me 3 years to replace my job income with my investment income. 3 years or less, baby. Replace your job income or your self-employment income with your investment income. Let's go. Who's committed? And number 3, who is committed to absolute minimum to 2 timesing their net worth in the next 5 years? 2 times is conservative, I'm telling you. I'm pretty conservative. My background is engineer, MBA. I like to analyze. And I was able to 3 to 4x my net worth every 5 years. Okay, so 2x is conservative, folks. Let's go and commit and make it happen. So this is your homework, okay? Now, I want to share with you a little bit about our company and our mission. Our company mission is to impact and mentor over 1 million people to get these results. Financial freedom. What I mean by financial freedom is all 3 of these things, okay? My passion is helping you to hit your financial freedom number, to 10x your net worth, and to reduce or eliminate your taxes by following the 6-step millionaire multifamily framework. And the way we do that is we invest in apartments, we follow a proven process, and I love buying these older buildings. I'm buying the newer ones too now, by the way, but I still love buying these older buildings too and lifting up the clientele and giving them a better life, okay? So that's our mission. So the way for you to get involved in our mission is to come to my next event. And here's the deal. This event that we're doing, we only do one time a year. Now, many of you heard of our Rat Race to Retirement events, and we did that in March, and we're going to do that again in November. This is an event we do once a year, and we're doing it in July. And here's the deal. It's an in-person event with a virtual option. So previously, we've done virtual events with an in-person option, and now this is an in-person event because the country is opening up, and so it's going to be mostly in person, but we understand that there's some people that can't or won't travel, so we have a virtual option. Now here's who we have speaking. Grant Cardone is coming back for year 3. Okay, Mr. GC, Uncle GC is going to be there. Okay, we have just signed a contract to get one of the sharks from the Shark Tank to be there in person. Okay, so this shark is going to be in Dallas in person. He's going to speak. He's going to talk about how he built up his company to like $300 or $400 million. He's going to dial into marketing and social media, which is one of the things we got to master. Okay, and if I could talk him into it, everyone in person that buys the Platinum experience is going to get a picture with him. Okay, so this is big news. And I can tell you who it is verbally. I don't want to put it on the picture yet, but it's Damon John. Okay, so Damon John is committed to coming. And by the way, we also just got, has anyone heard of Jesse Itzler? If you have never heard of Jesse Itzler, you got to look this guy up. He is one of the best mindset coaches in the world. Jesse Itzler became a mega millionaire before the age of 30. And now he's married to Sarah Blakely, who was the first female billionaire under 40 years old, and his wife founded the Spanx company. Seriously. So Jesse is going to be here in Dallas in person, and he's going to blow your socks off. And we're going to have industry insiders. We're going to have the president of the National Apartment Association, the president-elect of the National Apartment Association. They have 82,000 members. And he is going to be here in Dallas in person. Okay? So I am putting together the best frickin' industry event that ever existed. Okay? Nobody else, there are people doing events. Nobody's doing an event like this. Okay? So you got to be at this event. And this event is not just about learning from me, but it's about learning from my mentors. This is about learning from the people that I'm learning from that are 2 or 3 levels higher than me. So here's the deal. We got the virtual general admission. If you're going to do virtual, there's only one option. Okay? And that's $147. Now, if you're going to come in person, there's 2 options. There's the general admission in person, and then there's the Platinum VIP. Okay? The big difference between the two is the Platinum VIP, we got special lunch for you every day. So there's going to be extra content with me and the speakers for lunch every day. Day 1 and 2, okay? And the end of day 3, we're going to have a Platinum VIP reception for you guys. Now, the other big difference between Platinum and General in person is on day 4, and you know what? We did this the last time we did a rat race. We did a bonus day 4 for the Platinums. And I'm just telling you, man, I was exhausted after 4 days. And so up until today, we were not going to do a bonus day 4. But I told my team today, I said, we have got to do a bonus day 4 for all the Platinums where we're going to really go deeper, even one more extra day going into the framework, the 6-step framework. So I don't know what we're going to teach yet. It might be marketing. It might be branding. It might be deal analysis and mechanics, or it might be a little of all that, just next level stuff that we just aren't able to cover the first 3 days. Okay? So here's the deal. We have already been selling tickets to this event. and we only have 27 platinum tickets left. Now, the general admission in person, we have more of those, and the virtuals, obviously, we have as many of those because we could have, hundreds of people online, okay? So that's the deal. Now, we have been running this pricing special that I just shared with you. This special was going to end at the end of this challenge. So on Friday at 7 o'clock, when this challenge comes to an end, you're going to be paying the yellow prices. Before Friday, you're going to be paying the prices in black. So, you could wait and pay more, or you could enroll today and get the best price you're going to get. Now, my team, hey guys, are you able to put the link to purchase the tickets up on the chat box? So let's go ahead and get these tickets. This is going to be the event of the year, okay? Look, this event is for everybody. If you have already been to my rat race event, this event is going to blow you away. It's different. If you have been to my AIM NatCons in the past, this event is going to be better because we're really going to dial into the framework of being a millionaire investor. And every speaker is going to support one of those 6 topics. If you haven't been to any of my events and you're just getting started, this is the one you want to start with, okay? Not to mention, I'm not doing my next training event until November. So you don't want to wait until November. So you want to be enrolling in this program because no matter who if you're one of my personal mentoring students, you have not seen an event like the one I'm going to put on for you in July. I guarantee you, Nancy, Palmy Kitty, you have not seen anything like this. Some of you think you have, but you haven't. So my commitment to you is I'm working with the best people in the world. I'm working with the best teams. My mentors are 2 and 3 levels above me. I'm working with the people that are working with Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, just to name a few, okay? And some of these people are going to be also making appearances at AIM NatCon, either virtually or they're in person. So that's the deal. That's my offer, and I hope to see you in Dallas. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring on my good friend, and he is a good friend. Is Tom Wheelwright ready, folks? Yeah. Is Tom Wheelwright ready? I'm going to bring on my friend Tom, and Tom is going to talk about this. So let's hear it up for Tom. Now, I didn't ask Tom what to talk about. Well, I'll wait. Hey, Tom. Tom, you're muted.
No, if I'm muted on your side.
Okay, we can hear you now. So I have been talking about this today. I've been talking about no tax. I've been talking about how we make money with apartments and how we save money. Now, I didn't ask you what you were going to talk about, but I hope one of the things you're going to talk about is what Biden's proposing and how apartments are still a great vehicle to save money. But I'm going to sit down and rest my voice for a little bit and turn it over to you for about 20 minutes. And then we're going to take a short break and give away prizes from the homework yesterday. And then Tom, me, and you and Jen are going to go backstage for all the VIPs. All right?
Perfect.
All right, let's go, Tom. Let's go. Let's give it up for Tom Wheelwright.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Good to be here with you this evening. So for those of you who don't, first of all, thank you, Brad. Thanks, Jen. Thanks for all of the Sumrock team for putting this on. It's great. So please give it up for Brad and Jen and their team. So for those of you who don't know me, maybe just a little bit of my background. So I grew up in Salt Lake City, Utah, heart of Mormonism, and as a 19-year-old young man, served a 2-year mission in Paris, France, teaching Mormonism to Catholics. Learned a lot about the great French people and a lot about how to handle rejection. So from there, I spent about another 2 years at the University of Utah to get my undergraduate in accounting. I went to then the University of Texas in Austin, and received my master's of professional accounting with an emphasis in tax. I spent 7 years with Ernst & Young, including 3 years in the National Tax Office, 4 years as the in-house tax advisor for a Fortune 1000 company, 14 years as an adjunct professor in the Masters of Tax program at Arizona State University, and 25 years buying, building, and selling CPA firms. In the last 10 or 15 years, I spent a lot of time traveling the world with Mr. Robert Kiyosaki of Rich Dad Poor Dad fame, talking about financial education and tax reduction and how it works all over the world, because it's works pretty much the same all over the world. So no matter where we go, someone's going to say, you can't do that here, Tom. But I'm going to tell you that whether you're in Moscow or whether you're in Dallas or whether you're in Melbourne, Australia, you can do it here. So what Brad's talking about, what he says about taxes and apartment investing, I'm going to talk a little bit about that for the next 20 minutes. I want to start by explaining why the tax law works this way, because there's a lot of dialogue right now going on that is just patently false. And I want to dispel that dialogue. See, the tax law for many, many, many years now has been set up as a series of incentives. So certainly there's a few pages that tell you how much tax to pay, but most of the tax law, almost 6,000 pages of tax law, is set aside to give you directions on how to reduce your taxes. So most people don't read that tax law. It's very confusing. Albert Einstein said income tax is the most difficult thing in the world to understand. Understand that, but I'm here to tell you it's actually very simple. All we have to do is do what the government wants done. All we have to do is do what the government wants done. If we do what the government wants done, and then we have a good team in place, including good tax advisors, then we can pay less tax. See, we are all partners with the government. Every month, if you get a paycheck, you'll notice that you're a partner with the government, right? They take their share out of your earnings. You're partnering with the government. Now, your choice is, are you a silent partner or are you an active partner with the government? Most people, 80 to 90% of people, are silent partners. In other words, they just say, I'm just going to do my thing and pay my tax, and I just don't want to worry about it. It's too much of a hassle. Then there's that 10% that says, you know what? I'd like to understand this, and I'd at least like to understand why, when they say the rich don't pay taxes, why don't the rich pay taxes? Are they really cheating? And I'm going to tell you, I've been a tax professional for 40 years, and I've never found rich people to cheat. Ever. I'm just telling you, I don't find rich people cheat. I find middle income people cheat a lot. People with Schedule C, small businesses, those, anytime somebody says, I'll give you a discount if you give me cash, those people are cheating by definition. And by the way, if you give them the cash, you are facilitating their cheating. I'm just saying. So understand that the rich, they don't pay tax because their advisors understand the tax law. Well, here's the great thing about the tax law. It is absolutely fair. And the reason I say it's fair is that any two people in exactly the same situation can get the same tax benefits if they understand the tax law. Now, that doesn't mean you have to have the same number of zeros after your income. A small investor can have the same tax benefits as a big investor. A small business owner can have the same tax benefits as a big business owner. ProPublica several days ago released information on thousands of tax returns. I don't know how they got them. It's illegal for them to get them. Nevertheless, they released all of this information on rich people's tax returns, like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. And these people, and I see these protesting that they're not paying taxes. But I don't see those same people not ordering on Amazon. I don't see those same people complaining that they have an apartment over their head. I don't see those same people complaining that they have a job because a business owner risked their life savings so that they could build a business so these people could have a job. And yeah, I'm a little exercised about it. And here's why. Because the government gets as much out of these incentives as the taxpayers do. The government gets as much out of these incentives as the taxpayers do. I'm writing a book on this right now. You'll see it in the fall. And what you'll see is that government actually gets more out of it than the rich do. Consider, let me give you an example. So a number of years ago, I had a client, call him John, and he and his wife loved to travel to New Mexico. And he came to me one day and he said, Tom, he said, is there a way for us to deduct our travel to New Mexico? And I said, sure, absolutely. All you have to do is when you're in New Mexico, you need to spend more than half the day doing business in New Mexico. So you can't just take your computer and do business on your computer. You have to actually do business, can only be done in New Mexico. Well, John happened to be a real estate developer. And so a month goes by, he comes back to me, he's on the phone, he's so excited. He goes, Tom, help, I got to come in, I've got to talk to you. So he comes in, he says, so we spent 4 or 5 hours every day looking at real estate deals. Do we qualify? And I said, absolutely. So I said, about how much would you spend during a year in New Mexico? I said, about $10,000. So John's going to get a $4,000 tax benefit because he was in a 40% bracket. He's going to get a $4,000 tax benefit, okay, that the government's going to give him. I said, John, I said, I happen to know that you make a lot of money and $4,000 isn't going to get you all that excited. He says, well, as it turns out, I found a deal. I said, so help me understand the deal. He said, well, I figure that after all is said and done, I will net about $1 million. So John and I sat down and we figured out how to do this at the least amount of tax possible. I said, so John, it looks like you'll pay about $300,000 of tax on that real estate deals. He says, yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, so let's think about this. The government invested $4,000. Now, John happened to find this the first time he went. It may have taken him 5 years to find it. Well, let's say it took him 5 years. So that means that the government invests $20,000. And in return, they get $300,000 back in taxes because John finds a development deal. Now tell me that that's not a good investment for the government. So this is why the government does things. See, the government has certain policies. They have energy policies. They have housing policies. They have employment policies. They have agriculture policies. Guess what? All of these policies, they convince people to get involved and do what they want done by incentivizing them through the tax law. What happened was, back in the 1960s, John F. Kennedy figured out, he'd done some research and figured out, you know what? I think people don't like paying taxes. So let's try giving them an incentive. And the first incentive he gave was called the investment tax credit. Sure enough, it worked. He gave a credit for investing in business equipment, and people invested more in business equipment. So it was a 10% credit. Well, but the government got a lot of employment, and guess what? All of those employees at those manufacturing jobs paid taxes. So the government gets a lot out of this. Now, why is it that Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, why don't they pay high taxes? Here is a rule that I want you to write down. Absolutely write this down. The more money I earn, the more taxes I pay. The more wealth I build, the less taxes I pay. Let me put that another way. The more money I earn, the more taxes I pay. The more assets I own, the less taxes I pay. So when Brad talks about cost segregations, all he's talking about is he continues to invest in assets. Well, look at how his net worth has grown. Well, I'm happy to say that I feel like I'm a part of this growth, because guess what? Not only did he invest in part, you heard it, because the government incentivized him to invest, but he also had a lot more money to invest because he wasn't paying it in taxes. So he invested money he invested his money, plus he invested money he would otherwise pay in taxes, plus he invested the bank's money. So massive leverage here for the government. Now, will taxes eventually be paid on those assets? Of course they will. This is just postponing taxes to a later year. Eventually, taxes will be paid. In the meantime, all of Brad's employees pay taxes. His tenants pay taxes. There's housing for people that wouldn't otherwise have housing. And it's nicer housing because Brad fixes up the real estate. So it doesn't matter, frankly, you could be in real estate, you could be in energy, you could be in agriculture or business. But the reality is right now, real estate has the best tax benefits. And it will for the next several years. Now, for the next 2 years, Brad's right, 100% of your 5 and 15-year property can be written off in the first year. But in the year after that, 80%, and then 60%, and then 40%, and then 20%. Okay, and even before we had bonus depreciation, cost segregations produced huge benefits. Here's the key: 2 things you have to have. You have to have financial education, which is why you come to Brad's conferences. That's why you come to Brad's conferences. That's why I'm at Brad's conferences. Okay, and I'll be at the next one. And the reason I'm there is because financial education is my mission in life. So I'm there to educate you on how to do what the government wants done and pay less tax. That's my job. And all I want to do is help you get educated. Now, the second thing you need to know is, along with financial education, you must have a team. Well, the most common question I get when I speak at events like this is, okay, Tom, where do I find this team? Especially the tax advisors who understand this. Well, I got tired of not being able to say, go here, go there, because I didn't know anybody. So what we've done is we've built a network of CPAs called the Wealth Ability Network that I train on a weekly and monthly basis so that they do understand this, so that they have this mentality that the tax law is a series of incentives. It's a way to partner with the government to do what the government wants done. Now, come in to Brad's next event, and I promise you, I give you lots of nice little nitty-gritty details, okay, about how to actually use real estate besides cost segregation. In fact, I'm going to go to the VIPs, and I'm going to give them a little tip here that is extra special. That I've been working on and thinking about quite a bit lately. But remember, even with all of these proposals by Joe Biden, yeah, they're pretty egregious. But guess what? Along with the proposals of tax increases come proposals for tax incentives. Well, the key is to understand the incentives. If it fits your wealth strategy, go where the incentives are. And there's lots of new incentives that are going to involve real estate. Okay, real estate always seems to have great tax incentives. It continues to have great tax incentives. So I have to admit, it is one of the better tax incentives. And part of that is because it's so easy to leverage real estate and get debt on real estate. So, Brad, is that a good place to wrap up?
Yeah, Tom, can you hear me?
I can.
All right, let's give it up for Tom Wheelwright. Tom, I'm really excited that by the way, I just want to share this with everybody, if I can.
Sure.
I love referring to you as my tax zero hero. Jen actually came up with that name because you helped me and Jen go from $965,000 in tax to zero. And Tom, by the way, I don't know if you heard this part of my presentation, but 2021 will be our 4th year of zero tax because we're investing like 80% of our earned income into apartments this year. And the reason I'm doing this challenge is that, there are some people out there that are saying, oh my God, pricing is at the peak and we got to wait for the crash. And the people that I listen to that are 2 or 3 levels above me don't share that opinion, and neither do I. There is a shortage of multifamily and single family housing right now. It's getting harder and harder to be a homeowner in this country. And the demographic shift is so strong right now that I shared this on day 1 of this event. Me and Jen are going to put $5 to $7 million into multifamily this year.
So Brad, I've got to tell you, I've heard we were at the peak since 2014.
Exactly, me too. And I hope everybody else heard what Tom said. So, Tom, I believe that waiting is one of the most toxic things people could do, and I'm really happy to that you're going to be in person in Dallas for our event, right? Could we put that?
Correct.
Yeah. So Tom is going to be one of our speakers in person, and I didn't announce this to everybody yet, but Tom, I'm going to buy everybody in person a copy of your book, Tax-Free Wealth. So everybody that comes in person is get a copy of your book, Tom. I'm going to buy it for them, for all the in-person attendees.
And I'll tell you what, Brad, if you give me a few minutes after I speak, I'll sign all those for them.
All right, let's do it. Let's go, Tom. So Tom is going to sign your book. Tom, there might be a lot of people there. Are you sure?
I'm good with that.
All right.
I'm good with that. I have a strong wrist.
So we'll see how many people we have. It could be hundreds and hundreds, Tom. We'll see. But I'm going to take you up on it.
We'll do it.
So, Tom, you may want to stay on here while I introduce somebody, but there's a really special person that just stopped by our studio. And I want to introduce, first I'm going to describe who this person is. This person is the best in the world in what he does. He's not the best in Dallas. He's not the best in the United States. He's the best in the world. And the reason he's the best in the world is that he has the best results, and the best people in the world partner with him, and he advises them on their marketing strategy, on their messaging, and he works with people like Grant Cardone. He works with people like Tony Robbins. He works with people like Dean Graziosi. He works with people like Eric Worre, who is the #1 network marketing person in the whole world. And so the person I'm about to introduce is going to be teaching one of the segments at the July event of AIM-NatCon. He's going to be in Dallas at AIM-NatCon, and he's going to be teaching us how to make our message more clear and how to get our message out to make it matter so that we could be better millionaire apartment investors and raise more money faster and be more effective in developing our brand and our network and our investor database. So I'm going to bring on my friend Pete Vargas right now. He's in the house in Dallas. Let's go, Pete.
Yes. Thank you, dude.
Pete is the best in the freaking world.
Where am I? Where's that? Oh, right here. Am I looking here?
Yeah, you're looking at
like
that
right
camera.
there. That's
Yep.
the camera. Hey guys, how are y'all? Y'all doing good? Yes, I see y'all. I see Linda. I see Cody, Quandre, Rebecca, Ruth, Michael, Sharon. Let me tell you, Mike, what you have in common with Brad and Jen. Can I tell you what you have in common with Brad and Jen? Like, I know it's minimal, but I know all of you, Sabina, Cody Weeks, I know what all of you do. You actually make an investment in the greatest asset in the world. And you might think the greatest asset in the world is apartments, but it's not. It's you. And these two demonstrated greater than many people that I have ever met in my life. And so I know you're here this week because you want to invest in apartments, and you're learning from the best. But what I really want to tell you is there's a couple of things that I love about him and Jen, and I won't get into all the details about what we do, but I feel like we are arguably some of the best in the world at helping people understand how to be incredible marketers. Incredible at marketing. Incredible at building your brand, because the bigger you build your brand, the better the deals come to you. The bigger he builds his brand, the better job he does marketing, people just flood with him with deals. And so one of the things that I want you to understand today, and I'm so excited to be here, is I was thinking about on my way here, and here's why. I'm in Dallas, and I have thousands of people from across the world that are going to be with me for the next couple of days at an event here. And I just said, Brad, I want to come over and I actually want to speak for a couple of minutes because I want people to understand what you and Jen do so well. What y'all do so well. And there's three things that came up. Three things that came up that they do so well. And I would write these three things down. And I'm going to teach about one of them. I'm going to teach about one of them at AIMCon. I'm going to teach on one of them. I won't teach on all three, but there's three things that they do well. And I would write these down. I'm not going to be long-winded today because I really want to provide some nuggets that will shift the game for you. The number one thing that they do so well is they're constantly focused on their mindset. They're constantly figuring out. Brad and I were talking yesterday about health. I just pinched 3 nerves in my back. And Brad and I were talking about, like, both of us are obsessed with how do we become better human beings in our mind, in our bodies, in our spirits, in everything. These two understand what it means to invest into their mindset. Like, they're constantly feeding their mind. And the fact that you're here for 5 days and you're here on Money Day and with Tom and Brad, like Brad, I'm watching. Brad just showed you how to make money. I'm curious maybe he already did this, but what's your goal in making money over the course of the next year? What's your goal? Like, I'm curious of what your goal is. And in the chat, I want to see that on Facebook. I see all of you on Facebook backstage. I want to see that with all of you backstage. But Brad meditates and thinks about those things of what he wants to accomplish. It's one of the greatest things that him and Jen both represent. The second thing they do so well is, let me tell you what separates Brad from a lot of people in the investing world. And also what separates Grant Cardone, too. But Brad's learning from Grant, too, is that they both understand how to do marketing. How to do marketing. You might think, I don't have to be a marketer as an apartment investor, and I would beg to differ. If you can understand how to be a marketer and how to stand out, you won't be the person at the networking event trying to connect with everybody. You'll be the person at the networking event that everybody's coming up to, that wants to network with, that wants to do deals with. Like, you've got to understand marketing. You've got to understand the power of your personal brand. The power of your personal brand and marketing, I will guarantee you this. That one session that I do at the event, that one session, which wouldn't be your traditional session that you would have at an investment event, but it is important to him because he understands the power of what it's done for him and Jen. And so he wants to make sure that you have the cutting edge, latest and greatest, that what's going to help you. I'm telling you, Brad, that one session at NatCon is going to be game changer. It'll be worth the investment of it in itself. Like, I'm telling you, that one session. How do I know this? Because the handful of clients that we've been able to speak into their business over the course of the last year, including this great man, we have been able to help generate $250 million at the year anniversary mark, which will be here in a few months. We'll have generated $250 million. Not $250,000. I know we're used to hearing million. $250 million in revenues. That's not in assets. That's like in revenues. Why? Because of understanding marketing, building your brand, and building your platform. And that's something he understands well. A lot of you might be like, oh, he understands the art of the deal and management and property management and how to acquire them and how to be a GP. And yeah, he is incredible at that. But don't let him fool you. He understands marketing. And the third thing that Jen and Brad understand, and this is the hardest one, and Maricela says it perfectly with the hashtag. Yeah, Jen's the queen of health. She understands health. That's true. But let me tell you what they understand. They understand investing in themselves. Mentorship. Investing in themselves. All of you backstage here, like I feel like you've made a decision to step and be in the arena. Like I do. And Facebook, it's not a knock at all, but it's really easy to be a spectator in this world. A spectator in the crowd and not step into the arena. And what they choose to do is whether they're investing with Grant Cardone, I know what you've invested with Grant Cardone, I know what they've done to invest with us because they wanted to be able to up-level their game for you, so they came to us. They invest in themselves like crazy, and Tony Robbins. Like they choose to invest in themselves because it shortcuts things. The shortcut you can get. What do the wealthy people do? They spend money to save time. What did I used to do in a scarcity poverty mindset? I saved money to spend more time. I hope you heard that because nobody's ever said that. I said it, I had never heard it. The wealthy people spend money to save time. People in a poverty scarcity mindset, which I have come from, it's my DNA, it's my background, it's the culture that I grew up in, is to save money and spend time. Man, I got my 13 and my 11-year-old here on the back side here, Keaton and Mia. I don't have time to waste. I do not have time to waste, and neither do they. We've got one life to enjoy and live to the fullest. Live to the fullest. And so any place where I can get a shortcut, I do. And any place they can get a shortcut, they do. And so that's the third thing. I just thought on the way over here, what do I appreciate, admire about Brad and Jen? It's those three things. And so my call to action to you today, and I'm telling you, my one session on marketing and personal brand, that in itself will be worth it. Brad might not have told you this, but here's the thing. I called my buddy, Damon John. I said, Damon, you need to be at this event because Brad wanted Damon. Brad and I talked about Grant last year. Grant, there. And today I got the confirmation, and he said it, shared it with you guys. I got the confirmation, and we confirmed Jesse Itzler. And I know what Jesse Itzler is going to be talking about. And it will absolutely rock your mind. Like, this is a couple that is a billionaire. And then you got another guy whose net worth is hundreds and hundreds of millions. You've got one billionaire going to be there. You got two other people who are on their way to be billionaires that have net worths according to Google. I don't know this, but Google's right some of the time, that you're talking probably $500 million in net worth. That is who's going to be there. Those are the people he's bringing to be able to create the shortcut for you, the go-to place. And I really hope that you'll join us in person. And this is what I'll say, Brad. The biggest mistake that I made, and I just told the people at my event, because I'm doing the event, I think at the same place. I don't know if it's confirmed yet. Same place. Yeah. My event is where his event is in. And I have our 150 people there because we capped it and we limited it because we couldn't, our fortune cookie didn't tell us when things would be back to the energy in that room. Every single person is so glad that they're there. Now listen, if it is physically impossible for you to get here in person, there is a VIP option, or there is a virtual option. Yeah. There is a virtual option. But if you can get here in person, I told them, I wished I would have had the thousands of people all here in person versus not. So there are two amazing in-person options, And one of them, I've helped negotiate a VIP experience that is out of this world. And I'm going to tell you what, the opportunity to be able to take pictures with some of these speakers that I've just mentioned today and be able to meet and greet and be in the room with those types of people, it's unbelievable. I know Tom's going to be there. I know you have a lot of other guests, but I promise you the section I do, it will blow it away.
I just want to say, everybody, Pete is going to be just as valuable or more valuable, as great as Damon John is, and he's amazing. He's a billionaire. Jesse Itzler, billionaire. These guys are amazing. This guy is the best in the world. And so, Pete, earlier this week, I introduced the Millionaire Multifamily Investor Framework, and I never wanted to really teach marketing before because, honestly, in the past, I was a little afraid because I'm like, well, hey, I don't want to teach. I'm going to teach them the apartment stuff, but I don't want to teach the marketing stuff, right? Because, like, you know, what if somebody goes out and tries to do what me and Jen did? But then I realized that, like, the more we try to lift people up and just pull back the curtain, the more everybody wins. And so when I was talking to you, when we engaged with your company, and we said, what are we going to do for AIM NatCon in July? This event is going to be, and like I said, whether you've been to our AIM NatCon before, our rat race before, whether you're a personal student, whether you've never heard of me before until this challenge, this is the event that you need to be at, because we're putting together the best event with the best people in the world, including this guy right here. And you see what his t-shirt says? He's going to help you develop your message. He's going to help you tune into who it is that you're talking to so you could attract more people, whether you're building a team, whether you're trying to get more investors, whether you're trying to nurture your database or communicate better with you. And it's even going to be translated over to like your family and your friends and your coworkers and things like that. So this is the guy that we have made, and I don't want to say the amount, but it was a multiple six-figure investment in. And now I'm going to be able to share Pete with you at the Dallas NatCon event. So you guys got to be there.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, he introduced the framework, and a lot of it, you know, it's like you got to have the mindset, you have to have the mechanics, you have to dominate a market, you have to know money, the making of it, and then obviously, as Tom just shared, the keeping of it too. But you want to know the marketing as well. And that one domain is where I'm going to bring so much value. It's the same value that I've been able to provide all these speakers, including Brad, Grant, Damon, Jesse. They all have something in common. I've gotten the chance to work with all of them. And now I'll get the chance to work with everybody here at the event and helping them with some of the brilliance that I've done with those guys too. So I'm excited. Super grateful for all of you being here, and super grateful for Jen and Brad around these three domains. I hope that you will go. I think the website's up on the screen. If you've already taken that action, like, just say so in the comments. You're going to be there virtually or in person? Virtual or in person? I would love to know that in the comments. I'll go back through the comments on my way. Somebody just said platinum.
Let's go.
Yes,
Let's
platinum.
go, folks. Let's go, people.
Yes.
All right, Pete.
I love it.
Man.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
So now what's going to happen is we still got more to go tonight, okay? Yeah. Crystal Lee is going to come up, and she's going to announce the homework winners from yesterday, and she's going to reinforce the homework assignment for tomorrow. And then me, Tom, and Jen are going to go backstage, and Tom's got some more nuggets for us. So hold tight, and here's Crystal Lee. Boom, let's go.
It's great to see you, beautiful faces again. And day 3, wow. I mean, my goodness, I'm just sitting there like in awe of all of the valuable content that was just dropped today. So congratulations for being action takers. I've been seeing all the comments from all of you, and I'm just so excited that you're on this journey with us. So for everybody in the Facebook group and on the VIPs, I'm going to announce the contest winners from yesterday. So yesterday's homework was to determine your general partner goals, your SMART goals. And so we had such great participation. Thank you all, everybody who did. The winners, we have 3 winners. we have, dun-da-da, Tammy Sue Hain. Tammy Sue Hain. Yay, Tammy, I see you right there. Great job. Your homework was awesome. Really, really good stuff. And we're excited to see you reach those goals. We're going to help you. And Sean and Terry Griffith. Sean and Terry Griffith. Yay. Oh, Sean's right there too. Woohoo. Way to go, Sean. All right. And last but not least, we have Miss Annette Hanzek Stubbs. Annette Stubbs. Yay, Annette. So great job, you guys. Way to go. And just remember, post in the Facebook group, do videos for these responses. For tomorrow, we will announce the winners for this homework, which is what's your financial freedom number? What's your 5 and 10 year net worth target? And what's your target to reduce or eliminate your taxes? So financial freedom, 10x your net worth, and 0 tax. So just remember those. We're going to look at all of those homeworks up until we start tomorrow, 6 p.m. tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central. And so now everybody on Facebook, it's not bye, it's just bye for now. We'll see you tomorrow. Everybody on Facebook, we'll see you tomorrow. Everybody in VIPs, stay here. And we're going to bring up Brad and Pete, and we'll get Tom back up. So thank you all. We're going to backstage now. See you tomorrow. Have a great night. Backstage. Let's go. Woo! Backstage.
All right, folks. How was day 3? How was day 3? How was money day? Let me hear you. How was money day? Blow up the screen now. I want to see all the love hearts coming in on the Facebook page, all the thumbs up. And for the VIPs, we're not done with you all yet, because me and Tom and Jen, my beautiful bride, my best friend, my lover, my partner, she's going to come backstage with us. I'm actually doing that for all of you, but I'm also doing that for Tom, because I know how much Tom likes Jen. Okay? Tom, you still there? I hope you're listening to me. For everybody in the general admission that's not backstage, make sure you tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow we talk about markets. We talk about markets. We talk about what makes a good market, how to select the right market, how to dominate a market. And the guest speaker tomorrow, Charlie Young. Look, Charlie is not a professional speaker, but he knows how to dominate a market. He's got 15,000 units, and they're all in 2 markets. And he's going to talk about how he's dominating the market and building teams in those markets better than anybody else. And he's my mentor when it comes to dominating markets. So see you tomorrow. Everybody that's not backstage, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, 5 Mountain, 4 Pacific. And now at this point, Tom, you still there? We're going to go backstage, and Jen and I are going to join you. So let's go.
All right.
Come on, let's go.
Woo-woo! Guys, ready for Tom? Get some energy for Tom. Our tax hero. Woo! Let's go ahead.
Where did it go? Where did it go?
Woo! How was Pete, you guys?
Oh, and remember your homework. Remember your homework. Remember to do your homework.